Today I'm going to show you step by step how to make your own cicada on a plaque to stick on your favorite magnetic surface. The cicada apocalypse is among us here, and although they are emerging in droves, they are also dropping expeditiously, which makes perfect material for a strange art project. There are a ton of these headless zombies lying around, but my wife happened to find just a head with some legs attached, which looked like some type of taxidermy. The idea was born. Now if you don't have one of these to source one of these, you'll have to scrounge up a corpse and do what needs to be done. The first thing I did was position my subject on a post-it note and drew out a rough shape of the plaque around it so I could get a good idea of the scale and proportions. Then I folded the post-it on the plaque's central axis so I could cut and get a nice symmetrical shape. For the actual plaque, I'm using tan polymer clay. I pinch out a small slab and further flatten to about 1/8 of an inch thickness with a rolling pin. A great way to get a convincing wood texture is with a real piece of wood, which I impress and tap lightly into the pliable clay surface. Now I can use my plaque template to carefully cut out from the textured slab and pull away the excess clay gently. With the template still attached, I lightly press around the edges for a beveled look and retexture where necessary. I'm using a small ceramic magnet for this project. I use it to make an impression in the back for ease of gluing later. I probably should have done this before initially texturing, so learn from my mistake. Now that that's done, it's ready to harden in the oven. But while that bakes, it's the perfect time to talk about how I'm making another strange thing with the cicada shells that I've collected, which is just over 3,000. I'd like to invite you back for that video coming soon. Oh look, the pie! Given some time to cool, I can add in a brown acrylic wash and wipe it back for that rustic wooden finish. I'm mixing up a 2-part epoxy for attaching the magnet and the cicada. I line the hollow head with some epoxy to add a bit of rigidity and put just a touch around the mounting edge. I use a pair of tweezers to carefully place the head on the plaque, and of course the magnet beneath was drawn to the tweezers, which means now I've got some epoxy to clean up. Luckily, it's as easy as lightly scraping with an X-Acto knife and doing some paint touch-up. The final detail is to add a metal name plaque to the wooden plaque. I make 2 parallel cuts in a piece of aluminum foil and triangulate the ends, then pop out the tiny shape. With a dab of leftover epoxy and not so surgical precision, I place the name plaque below the cicada. And there you have it. One of the dumbest little art projects I've ever made. I love it. It's the perfect little appetizing oddity that I can admire every time before I open the fridge and grab something to eat. I hope that you've enjoyed this process and that I see you next time while I make strange things.